Welcome to Lunch Break Reviews. I'm Bradley Butane, your self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, here to dive into the best and sometimes the worst of what's playing at the movies or on TV. Each week, I'll spotlight one or maybe a couple releases and put it through the lunch break point system, rating everything from its main course to its leftover appeal. We'll cover a couple of reviews, the box office buzz, and my own take on whether these shows deserve a place in your lunch break lineup or not, in about 30 minutes or less. And also make sure you check out throughout the week for more TV shows and comics that I will add to the lunch break point system, and we'll see where everything ranks out. Also, make sure you follow me on TikTok and the YouTube for all sorts of fun. We're going to start off with a recap of last week's top box office. In number 5, and I'm kind of surprised it's still hanging in there, even though it is the Christmas season. The best Christmas pageant ever is still hanging in there in the 5th place at $3.2 million for the week and a total of $33 million. Sitting in at 4th place, another Christmas movie, Red One, made $13 million over the last weekend, November 29th through December 1st, and has made a total of $70 million. It's been out for 3 weeks. In 3rd place, Gladiator 2 brought in another $31 million and is at a total of $124 million. It's been out for 2 weeks. A Wicked is sitting in 2nd place at $81 million and $295 million in total. It's been out for 2 weeks. And Moana 2 brought in $140 million last weekend and is sitting at a total of $260 million, and it's been out for a week. And with that, typically I like to do movies. I couldn't get to a movie this week. I was just too busy. Wife had a Christmas party, and we had guests all weekend, so I wasn't able to get that going. So there was, however, a couple of big TV shows. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna double this up. We're gonna make a double episode for the TV smoke breaks, and we're gonna kind of put it all together and see what happens. So for today, I'm gonna do Skeleton Crew and I'm gonna do Creature Commandos. So we're gonna start off with all the information about Skeleton Crew. This came out on 12/3. IMDb currently has this rated at a 7.2 out of 10, and right now it's sitting at Rotten Tomatoes at a 96% on the tomato meter and an 81% on the popcorn meter. IMDb has a synopsis of this: 4 kids make a mysterious discovery on their home planet that leads them to get lost in a strange and dangerous galaxy. The top billing for this is, it's created by Christopher Ford and John Watts. John Watts that brought you all the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. Main cast: Dominic Burgess, Jude Law, Ravi Converse, Ryan Kira Armstrong, Kiana Crater, and Nick Frost. A little bit about information on Creature Commandos. This was released on December 5th. Rating, IMDb has this currently rated as 7.9 out of 10, with Rotten Tomatoes sitting at a 94%, and at on the tomato meter, and then 78% on the popcorn meter. The IMDb synopsis for Creature Commandos follows a group of military superhumans composed by a human leader, a werewolf, a vampire, Frankenstein's monster, and a gorgon. Now, this is created and written by James Gunn. We've all been excited for the start of the DCU. It's here. Main cast is Indira Varma. She's been in so much stuff. If you remember back in Battlefront 2, when you played the story mode, that was her. Alan Tudyk, Frank Grillo, Sean Gunn, Zoe Chow, David Harbour, and Maria Baklava. We know who's in these products. Let's talk some reviews. And so we're going to get right into it. Here's my little disclaimer. These reviews are chosen based on title alone, and I haven't read them beforehand. So let's dive in together. Please excuse any mispronunciations as I read them exactly as they appear, punctuation quirks and all. And this is a bad review for Skeleton Crew. And here we go. This is a 1 out of 10 and written by Favenbach on the 5th of December and is called 10-star ratings are absolutely absurd. People are comparing this to Goonies, which is also absurd. Goonies was a great coming-of-age movie with amazing characters and a fantastic story. If you want to watch another good coming-of-age TV show, watch Stranger Things. The main characters of Skeleton Crew are nowhere near as interesting as those two shows. The most interesting character of the show so far is a robot. Jude Law showed up for the last 2 minutes of the second episode, so maybe he will help the show get out of pure flatness. But I doubt I will watch any more. This show is like Star Wars Holiday Special combined with Hannah Montana. I would have given this 2 stars just because for my love of Star Wars, but I felt like one star was needed to offset the absurdity of so many people giving this 10 stars. I feel like there is some sort of social media campaign to offset the majority of Star Wars fans who haven't been impressed with a lot of these shows or movies. There have been some great ones. The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Kenobi, Clone Wars were all fantastic. But this is not good. Not a good Star Wars story. The characters are about as flat as it gets. It's definitely written for children, so maybe your kids will like it. Okay, Star Wars at its core is for kids, but I digress. Let's get into another bad review. This is another bad review of Skeleton Crew, and it's a 1 out of 10 from Gilliman-40590 and dated on the 2nd of December. And this is called Skeleton Crew, A Lost Opportunity. And here we go. Star Wars Skeleton Crew is a disappointing addition to the Star Wars universe. This series sets in the New Republic era, fails to capture the magic and wonder of the franchise. The plot is predictable and lacks the depth and complexity that fans have come to expect from Star Wars. The characters are underdeveloped and their motivations unclear. The dialogue is often stilted and expository, hindering the pacing and immersion. The show's attempts at humor fall flat, relying on juvenile jokes and forced laughter. The visual effects, while impressive, cannot compensate for the weak storytelling and lackluster performances. Ultimately, Skeleton Crew is a missed opportunity that fails to live up to the high standards set by previous Star Wars projects. It's a tedious and forgettable series that will likely disappoint both casual viewers and die-hard fans alike. Yippee-ki-yay! Okay, we're going to keep on going to the bad reviews, but we're going to move on to Creature Commandos. So here we go. This is for Creature Commandos, and it is a 1 out of 10 from Elijah Hardonado from the 4th of December, and is titled Not a Good Start for DC. Here we go. The decision both puzzling and ill-advised. Beginning a cinematic universe intended to rival the likes of the MCU with an animated project diminishes the weight of its debut. Animation lacks the mass appeal necessary to anchor the start of a serious and cohesive universe. James Gunn's over-reliance on the tired formula of group of misfits doing good feels uninspired. This concept has been rehashed repeatedly in the Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy, and now here. It predictably leaves little room for excitement of novelty. The story suffers from a lack of originality, blending the anti-hero cliches of both Suicide Squad films with the forced comedic beats emblematic of Gunn's MCU work. This approach undermines any sense of gravitas, an issue further exacerbated by lackluster voice performances that fail to elevate the material. A serious cinematic universe demands bold, fresh storytelling. Yet, Creature Commandos feels derivative and uninspired, a retread of themes we've already seen, with diminishing returns. Furthermore, this misstep places enormous pressure on James Gunn's Superman, which must exceed $800 million at the box office just to stabilize Warner Bros. Footing. Starting the DCU with an animated side project instead of a tentpole live-action film undermines the perception of a grand vision. If this is a foundation for the new DCU, it sets a troubling precedent for a universe that is supposed to restore fans' confidence in DC's cinematic future. Simply put, this was not the right start for a franchise meant to be taken seriously. Okay, so what's your problem with the show? Is it the animation? I mean, you touched on a little bit, but was it the story? I mean, your problem so far, it seems, is with James Gunn and the fact that you don't like what they're doing. I'm glad they asked you. Okay, let's keep going a little bit for another bad review. This is Creature Commandos. That was 1 out of 10 from Tashar000, dated on the 7th of December. Creature Commandos, a monstrous misfire. Creature Commandos, a recent addition to DC Animated Universe, unfortunately falls short of expectations. The series, while attempting to introduce a unique and grotesque team of anti-heroes, suffers from a lackluster narrative and inconsistent pacing. The animation style, though distinct, often feels rushed and lacks the polish of other DC animated projects. The character designs, while visually striking, fail to resonate emotionally. The dialogue, filled with excessive profanity and crude humor, feels forced and out of place. The humor, intended to be dark and edgy, often lands flat, leaving the audience unimpressed. The plot, while initially intriguing, becomes convoluted and predictable. The pacing is uneven, with some episodes dragging on while others rush through important plot points. The voice acting, though competent, cannot salvage the overall mediocrity of the series. In conclusion, Creature Commandos is a missed opportunity. It fails to capture the essence of the DC universe and offers little to no excitement or entertainment. Ouch. Okay, although I feel like that was more of a review than the last one, though, at least. But we've heard the bad. Skeleton Crew and Creature Commandos. It's time. Let's hear some good stuff now. Let's talk about some good reviews. This is a good review of Skeleton Crew, and it is a 10 out of 10 from Me Despicable Me 3 from the 3rd of December. So far, so good. Star Wars Skeleton Crew is an exhilarating addition to Star Wars universe that captures the magic and adventure fans have come to love. The series brilliantly balances nostalgia and fresh storytelling, bringing new characters to life in a way that feels both exciting and authentic to the franchise. The performances are stellar, particularly the young cast who shine as they navigate a galaxy filled with wonder and danger. The writing is sharp, blending humor and heart while exploring themes of friendship, courage, and the search for identity. Visually stunning with spectacular action sequences, the rich world-building Skeleton Crew immerses viewers in the vastness of Star Wars universe. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series, this show is a must-watch. It leaves you eagerly anticipating what comes next. Don't miss it. I loved it so much that I wish they had released all 8 episodes at once instead of just the first 2. It left me wanting more. I wish they did 20 of these all at once. Be sure to check it out. Well said. Well said. Let's move on to another good review. This is another good review of Skeleton Crew from Bradley Ahala PhD from the 2nd of December. It is titled A Lot of Fun If You Still Have a Sense of Wonder. The show grabbed me from the very first scene. This is precisely the sort of thing I've wanted to see for years. The wider galaxy away from the immediate conflicts of the Empire/Rebellion or First Order/Resistance. What is life like in the galactic suburbs? The galaxy's worth of stories to tell, which don't have to literally be wars among the stars. Skeleton Crew is made with kids in mind, which can only be a good thing. I can't imagine young kids enjoying Andor, and even some of the lighter Star Wars series probably wouldn't fire them up in the way this series might. It's very much inspired by 80s adventure movies and absolutely succeeds in bringing that wide-eyed sense of childhood wonder that Star Wars itself gave us back then. It's fast, fun, funny, and colorful. Some of us are lucky enough to still have our sense of childhood wonder, which makes it an easy watch. If you're one of the many grumpy fans, try to remember riding your bike to school and getting into adventures. You might find you enjoy it. You might find you recapture a bit of your youth. If not, that's fine. Just leave it for the target demographic and those of us who still ride speeder bikes whenever we're in the woods. Well done. And we have two more good reviews, but now we're moving on to Creature Commandos. All right, well, this is a good review of Creature Commandos, a 10 out of 10 from Former Creep from the 4th of December, and is called Strong Beginnings. Warning, spoiler. The DCU has begun. Creature Commandos serves as a nice appetizer for what's to come. James Gunn's style of writing fits perfectly with the animation format. He once again delivers an exciting and dark story about misfits. The show follows a group of monstrous prisoners, a sort of successor to the now defunct Suicide Squad. The first 2 episodes focus heavily on Rick Flag Sr. and the Bride. Rick is a funnier character than I was expecting, which is a good thing. He isn't just playing another completely serious soldier. The Bride is focused on in episode 2. It features her disturbing origins with Dr. Frankenstein and his monster. It all works really well, and you generally feel bad for her. As this is James Gunn's project, it once again features a strong musical lineup. I was happy to hear Carousel here, very nostalgic to me personally. Overall, this is an absolute must-watch for any DC fan, especially for those of us who loved the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, and here is the final good review. This is a 10 out of 10 from Ramatya from the 7th of December and is called Love This. Unique and interesting characters. The show features a group of monster-like characters who are both funny and endearing. Each character has a unique backstory and personality, which makes them easy to root for. Action-packed and violent. The show is full of action and violence, which will appeal to fans of the genre. Humorous and relevant. The show has a dark and twisted sense of humor that will appeal to fans of James Gunn's other work. Visually appealing. The animation is well done and the show looks great. And good voice acting. The voice acting is top-notch, with many recognizable actors lending their voices to the characters. Well done. Okay, so we heard some good and bad for both Creature Commandos and Skeleton Crew. It's time. Well, almost time. Before we do that, let me know if you agree with those or not. But now it's time. Lunch break point system. We are going to find their place in the lunch break point system. This is what it is. I got 5 categories. I got the main course, side dish, spice level, leftover, appeal, and dessert. We're going to take each one of these shows and we're going to give it a point, and then we're going to add them up and see where they go. All right, so we're going to start with the main course. This is the overall quality of the show. Now, this is subjective because this is for me. So if you disagree with me, come at me. Let's talk about it. Maybe we'll even make a podcast about it. I don't know. We'll have an episode. Let's do it. Main course for 1 point. I guess I should talk about this real quick. I wanted to rework these because I feel like they were just too objective, because I wanted to have some structure in the 5 points. So this is what we came up with. So for 1 point for a main course, it's unappetizing mess, struggles to even hold together. For 2 points, bland and uninspired. 3 points, decent but not exceptional. 4 points, well-crafted, flavorful, and fulfilling. And for 5 points, a masterpiece, leaves you full and craving more. So for me, for Skeleton Crew, I'm going to give... definitely more than a 3. I'm thinking at least a 3. I'm gonna guess. I think 4. I think 4 is where it's gonna be. It's well crafted. It's flavorful. It's fulfilling. It hits most of the right notes. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it, especially after Acolyte. So we're gonna give this a 4. I'm gonna mark that down with a SC. And for Creature Commandos, its main course. All right, definitely. I think we're gonna be the same. I think it is well crafted. I enjoyed it. Probably not as much as Skeleton Crew though. So we're gonna do a 3 for that. It's decent but not exceptional. I think it's better than decent though. It's satisfied enough for the moment. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna stick with the 3 for Creature Commandos. Okay. And number 2, side dish. For 1 point, sides are poorly executed or completely missing. 2 points. Barely adds anything to the plate, mostly forgettable. 3 points. Some solid moments, but inconsistent or overshadowed. 4 points. Complements the main dish well. Solid support all around. And for 5 points, outstanding sides that elevate the entire meal to the next level. Okay, so for me, for Skeleton Crew, I'm going to give this a 3. I'm going to give this a 3 for this. For me, it was good. I enjoyed, no, I'm going to stick with a 4. I'm going to stick with a 4 because I thought it complements everything that was happening so far. I think that everything was coming together. We're learning the characters, we're learning their names, that we're getting the interactions, they're starting to trust each other. So I think that's where that one's going to live. And for the side dish for Creature Commandos as well, I think this was outstanding and it elevates the entire meal. I think by the 2 episodes, you kind of got a feel for where it's going. And I'm giving this a 5. I like the characters a lot. Okay. Spice level. This is for creativity and boldness. For 1 point, bland and unoriginal, no risks taken. For 2 points, mildly interesting, but nothing stands out. For 3 points, brings a little heat with some creative flair. For 4 points, bold and unique with impressive execution. And for 5 points, to get all 5, it's got to be red hot creativity, a daring and unforgettable experience. And I think for Skeleton Crew is going to be a 3. I don't think it's super bold yet. It is unique though. I did put that in there, and I do think it is there and it's different. This would teeter on between a 3 and a 4, but my gut was telling me to give this a 3, so we're going to give this a 3. And for Creature Commandos, we are going to give this Creature Commandos bring a little heat, bold and unique. Is it unique though? It's bold, but I don't want to say unique. 3. We're going to give this a 3 as well. That's where my gut is going, so we're going to stick with the gut as much as possible. Now, the leftover appeal. This is for rewatch, replay value. For 1 point, no interest in revisiting. Once was more than enough. 2 points, maybe worth another look someday, but not anytime soon. For 3 points, a decent option to revisit when you're in the mood. 4 points, you'll definitely want seconds. Hold up, and it holds up over time. And for 5, timeless, something you'll reprieve again and again. Okay, Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew. Am I going to rewatch this? Yeah. I'm going to rewatch this every year automatically because I do a Star Wars rewatch every year. Will I do it outside of that though? I think I will. I think once we get 3 or 4 episodes, I'll do a binge just to get all caught up. So for that, I feel like it at least has to be a 3. But I'm definitely going to want seconds. I think we're going to give this a 4. And for Creature Commandos, I know I'm absolutely going to rewatch this again. I will probably watch episodes 1 and 2 again before I watch episode 3. So for that alone, I'm going to give this. I don't think it's red hot though. Creativity. I think this has to live in the 4 too. All right, dessert here. Emotional satisfaction. How satisfied was I on these? For 1 point, a bitter aftertaste leaves you unsatisfied. For 2 points, slightly sweet but not memorable. 3 points, sweet enough to end on a good note but nothing remarkable. 4 points, leaves you with a smile, a well-rounded finish. And for 4 points, a perfect treat and an unforgettable cherry on top. All right, so we're going to do for Skeleton Crew. Let me think about this a little bit. I was smiling a lot. It's not perfect by any means, but so I'm going to stick with a 4 again. So Skeleton Crew is going to get a 4. Where does Creature Commandos? Creature Commandos is going to give me. I was looking forward to Creature Commandos so much because I'm a huge DC fan. I think we're going to stick with a 4 on here as well. So these are going to end up being the same thing. Took a little bit different way to get there, but so we got 16. We have 19 points. 19 points on each, and do each get a will? Can we give them any extra points? Let's find out. So for an extra point, is there a snack factor? Quick, fun, was it easy to digest? Skeleton Crew was. I can easily think Skeleton Crew can get that. So we're going to give them 1 point for snack factor. Snack factor. Lunch crowd was broad appeal for all audiences. In this case, I think it was. I think it was more for everyone because definitely for kids. It wasn't for adults. It was. I think we can. I think we're going to give this 2 extra points. We're going to give this up to. We're going to give this 21 points. Creature Commandos. Snack factor, quick, fun, easy. These are 25-minute episodes. Absolutely, we can give it a point for that. And can we give it a point for anything else? Lunch crowd, broad appeal for all audiences? No, I don't think so. This is going to be a niche. Break room talk to the sparking thing? No, it doesn't. So it's the final point that's going to separate the two. Skeleton Crew is going to be sitting at 21 out of 25, and Creature Commandos is going to be on a 20 and 25. So we are going to put that onto my score sheet, and we're gonna put Creature Commandos and where are we at? Okay, all right, so here we go. We figured it out. Star Wars Skeleton Crew is going to edge out Creature Commandos just by a little bit. Different ways, but we got to the same point, and I think that's probably about right. Even Rotten Tomato and IMDb, we'll review that again really quick here. I mean, like IMDb has Skeleton Crew at a 7.2 and has Creature Commandos at a 7.9. Rotten Tomatoes has Skeleton Crew 96 and a popcorn, or the tomato and on popcorn meter it's 81, and 94 and 78 for Creature Commandos. So I think we're right in line with everything, and I'm going to keep watching it regardless. So with all that being said, we are just at the 30-minute mark. It is time to say goodbye. You can follow me at Facebook at Nerd Positive, YouTube at Nerd Positive 1, TikTok at Nerd Positive 1, and movies.bs, and Instagram at the Fandemic 1. Support me at buymeacopy.com/nerdpositive or patreon.com/nerdpositive. And that's a wrap on this week's Lunch Break Reviews. Thanks for tuning in and joining me, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin. If you enjoyed today's dive into the box office hits and misses and TV shows, don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Catch our mini episodes throughout the week on TikTok and YouTube for all things TV and comics. Until next time, keep watching, keep reading, and keep being awesome. See you next Sunday, same bat time or same time, same place, for another edition of Lunch Break Reviews. Have a good day.